Hello everybody, it's me, Ice Fiction. I am back again with another video. Um, this one here is going to be one of a kind of controversial topic. I'm going to go over goldfishing, right? A lot of people like to goldfish. A lot of people use it. I know there's quite a few YouTube channels that promote goldfishing and stuff like that. I'm going to go over the reasons that I personally do not like goldfishing, right? I have a couple points I want to hit on with this, and then kind of go over the things that I do whenever I goldfish, right? Point number one. Goldfishing was intended to be able to kind of test your deck out to see whether or not it does the thing that you want it to do, right? So if you build like a Nekusar deck, you want it to draw people cards, right? Because Nekusar does damage whenever an opponent draws a card. So the whole point of building a Nekusar deck is to make people draw cards. So when you goldfish, you want to try to see whether it does the thing and what changes you can do to help make it do the thing, right? I have my Obeka deck, Obeka Brute Chronologist. Yeah, Obeka Brute Chronologist. I did a deck list on this. I do have to update it. I'll talk about that in another video when I go over the recent bans that Magic did and all the changes that's going on with all of that. But as of right now, it's still the same deck that was in that deck list video. So with Obeka Brute Chronologist, it says, tap, the player whose turn it is may end the turn. Exile all spells and abilities from the stack. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size and damage wears off. This turn and until end of turn effects end, right? So I'm using this deck because one, it's one of my more competitive decks. I play this deck a lot. I like the way it plays. I like the synergy that it has. And it varies from game to game on how I play the deck, right? So I really enjoy playing this deck, which is why I'm using it as an example of kind of how you goldfish, and I'll kind of go over the things that I don't like about goldfishing, right? So goldfishing, you start by shuffling your deck, and there's some online ways to do this as well. You can use, I think Moxfield has one, Archidect. There's a couple other ones. If you do it on the Mana Box app, you can kind of play test as well. So you just shuffle, and then you draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. You look at those cards. Alright, I got 2 lands, Sheoldred the Whispering One, It That Betrays. This isn't a terrible hand. It's not a hand that I would keep, right? I only got 2 lands, which is an island and a swamp. I have nothing that I could actually play with that, so I would mulligan, right? The way I mulligan is I just grab the next 7 cards. 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's see. Okay, we got 1 land. We got a Swiftfoot Boots. We got 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this one we got 4 lands, and we got some things that we can do. Okay, so I'll actually keep this hand just as a thing. Normally, when I mulligan, I'll just draw the next 7 cards, and do that until I get a land that I actually like, and then I'll shuffle the other cards back into my library. I'm not doing it for this video. But okay, let's see. So when you're goldfishing, you're just kind of playing through the deck, right? You're just trying to improvise turns, basically. Okay, so I got 4 lands and 3 other cards. We'll draw for turn. It's a instant card. Let's get our tap land out of the way, so we'll lay that and go to the next turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Let's see. This one, I think we'll do a Tainted Isle. We can do this. We'll do tap 2 for a Swiftfoot Boots. It doesn't really do anything because I don't have any creatures. And then we'll untap, upkeep, draw. We'll do a Graven Carns. And then let's see, I don't have anything else I can really do. Yep, I don't have anything else to do, so I'd pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. We'll do an island for turn, and then we will tap for one, a blue, a black, and a red, and we'll bring Rebecca out because that's really the only thing that I can do. I drew an ancient copper dragon. I can't cast that just yet. Okay, so Becca's on the battlefield. Doesn't really do anything. Untap, upkeep, draw. Let's see. We'll lay another island for turn. 2. I can't do that. Let's see. I could do this. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and a blue, and we'll cast an Encroaching Microsynth. All my non-land permanents are now artifacts. Everything in my deck, in my hand, they're all artifacts. I'll tap 1 to equip the Swiftfoot Boots to Rebecca. And then we'll go to our end step, untap, upkeep, draw. Draw for turn. We'll do this Cascade Bluff, so I'll put this over here. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Need that for the 2 blue. That one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap that for blue to tap that for 2 red, and I'll play my Ancient Copper Dragon. Now, this is a reason why I don't like goldfishing, right? I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns in, and I have no idea what's actually going on, right? In game situations, there are removal spells. There's interaction going on. What if my Encroaching Microsynth gets countered? What if, Rebecca gets destroyed? What if, somebody destroys one of my lands? You know what I mean? Like, there is no true way to know whether or not your deck is doing the thing or not, right? Now, my decks, generally speaking, are kind of slower. They're not that powerful. Most of them are right about a 6, maybe a 7. But generally speaking, they're kind of slower. It takes a little bit to get going, regardless of which deck I'm playing. Okay, but it's weird. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is weird because you don't know what is actually going on. I don't know if Ancient Silver gets or Ancient Copper gets countered. I don't know if Rebecca gets countered. I don't know if the Swiftfoot Boots gets destroyed or removed, encroaching microsynth. What if somebody played a gamble and I had to discard my hand and then draw 7 new cards? Like there's no way to anticipate what's actually going to happen in a game, right? Because every game is going to play differently. Every deck is going to play differently every time you play it. That's the biggest reason why I don't like goldfishing, right? Because it's great. I haven't missed a land drop. I still have a land in my hand. I have, Encroaching Microsynth. I have Microsynth Lattice. I have the Red Sun's Twilight, which is a removal spell for artifacts specifically. The Microsynth Lattice turns all of my opponent's stuff into artifacts. So I could, if I play the Microsynth Lattice, next turn I can cast the Red Sun's Twilight. I have no true way of understanding and knowing what's actually happening in the game because it's just me, right? I don't like that. Okay, so we'll shuffle up and we'll try it again, right? We'll just do a very quick shuffle. And like I said, like this is a reason why I don't like goldfishing and like running through actual turns. Mainly because you don't know, like there are cards that like are must kill on site situations and you have no way of truly knowing whether or not it gets removed, or what if somebody steals something of yours, or what if what if you're playing against a Nekusar deck and you're being forced to draw a bunch of cards? There's no way to truly know how the decks are actually going to play, right? I mean, it's great because that turn was, or that little session, it was kind of doing what I wanted it to do. You know what I mean? Ancient Copper Dragon gives me a buttload of treasure tokens when I swing out with it. The Encroaching Microsynth turns everything into an artifact for me. The Microsynth Lattice turns everything into an artifact for my opponents. Like, that's why I don't like goldfishing, because there's no actual way to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. Oh, we got a Felwar Stone, a land, a Final Fortune, a land, a land, a land, and a land. Okay. This one here, this is a great example, right? I have a tendency when I play this deck to get mana locked, right? 5 of my 7 cards in my opening hand are mana, right? They're lands. And then I have a mana rock that I can play. I have a part of my win con in my hand. We'll just say I keep it. We'll draw. I'll lay a swamp. Pass for turn. We'll draw. We'll Treacherous Surge. We'll lay a Tainted Isle. Pass for turn because I don't... Oh, nope. Just kidding. Let me tap 2 for the Felwar Stone, and then we untap, we upkeep, and we draw. Ooh, Vampiric Tutor. Let's not miss our land drop, so we'll lay a swamp, and we'll tap that swamp to cast a Vampiric Tutor, and we'll go search for... Where is it at? The next card would have been a Soul Ring. That's nice. Let's see, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? There we go. Ishakron Scepter. Being that we have one part of our endless, or our win con in our hand, that's tutor for the next one, or the second part of it. Shuffle. Okay, and then we go to our end step. We pass for turn. We untap. We upkeep. We draw. We lay an island for turn, and then let's tap one, a blue, a black, and that for a red, and we cast Obeka. Because we need Obeka in order to do the Ishrakhan Scepter Final Fortune combo. We pass for turn, we untap, we upkeep, we draw. Let's just do let's do an island for turn. Alright, let's get this party started. We will pay 2, cast an Ishrakhan Scepter, imprint the Final Fortune underneath of it, and then we'll tap 2, tap this, we get an extra turn. We untap, we upkeep, we draw. We lay this island for turn. We do nothing because we don't have anything else that we can really do. So I mean, I guess technically we could do tap that and that. And we'll do a sneak attack. It doesn't do anything because I don't have any creature cards in my hand. And then we'll tap these 2 to tap the Ishrakhan Scepter. And now I'm going through my endless loop, and we draw 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 and finally get a creature that I can cast. Like again, like this is part of the reason why I don't like this, right? How do I know that the Ishrakhan Scepter doesn't get countered? How do I know the Vampiric Tutor doesn't get countered? How do I know somebody doesn't play a Draenith Magistrate that doesn't allow me to play my commander? If I can't get my commander on the battlefield to tap it to end the turn, I lose the game. You know what I mean? Like I go from winning the game turn 3, turn 4 to losing the game just like that. Like that. Those are the things that I don't like about goldfishing. A lot of people do. A lot of people goldfish. Most of the people at my LGS and a lot of the people in my play group, they goldfish, and they goldfish all the time. There's one person that I play with pretty regularly. He goldfish his deck all the time. Like, he goldfish them before he goes to the card shop. He goldfish them after he gets home from the card shop. He does it 7 days a week. And he just plays and plays and plays and plays and plays and plays, but he does it by himself, right? And I don't like doing that because I don't know what's actually going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I've played this deck, I don't know, I'd say probably 50 plus times, and every single time it's played differently. Sometimes it works out really well. Other times I get mana locked. You know what I mean? In fact, I actually just played this deck last Thursday. Actually, no, it was Saturday. I played it Saturday at my LGS, and I got mana locked. We were 8-9 turns deep, and I had 4 lands. Like, it happens. It plays differently every single time, right? And then the other thing that I struggle with whenever I'm goldfishing is, to me, it seems like goldfishing the deck is working absolutely perfectly, right? Like, you've seen just in those 2-3 examples that I just did that I wasn't mana locked. I had the things that I need when I need them, and it was working perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, that rarely ever happens in the actual game time situations. Okay, I don't know what it is about goldfishing, but it seems like every time I play it works out great, right? Every time I goldfish, it works out great, and then when I'm playing in an actual group, it doesn't do so great. And that's with all of my decks. It doesn't matter if it's a precon or one of my custom decks. Like I said, this is definitely, in my opinion, one of my more powerful decks, and I struggle in game time situations. Occasionally I don't, but for the most part, I don't do so good, right? Um, so I'll tell you kind of how I goldfish. I'll shuffle this again. I'm pretty sure I already shuffled it, but we'll shuffle it again just in case. Um, when I'm goldfishing, because I struggle with mana fixing my decks, and it seems to me when I'm playing in game time situations, it always seems like I get mana locked, or it's easy for me to get mana locked. So this is how I goldfish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I was always told the general rule of thumb is you want at least 3 to 4 lands in your opening hand, right? So I got an Arcane Signet, I got 1 land, I got a Chromatic Lantern, I got 2 lands. So I got 2 lands and 2 mana rocks, technically. This one I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I might actually keep a hand like this. You know what I mean? Because I can play both my lands. And then I can play my Arcane Signet. And I can play my Chromatic Lantern. And that gives me 4 mana just like that. Now I can't play it. It'd be 2 turns before I could actually play it. So on turn 3, I could play that 4th land. Let's see. We drew another. So if I find a hand that I would keep, I just kind of draw the next couple cards, right? Most of the time, you want your deck to be doing something. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it goes with the theme of the deck or not. You want your deck to be doing something by turn 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have at least a creature that you can play, or something along those lines that can kind of help protect you in some way, shape, or form. Right? So I just kind of go through and kind of flip through the next couple cards. So I drew a Felwar Stone, which is another mana, and then a Mountain, which is another mana, a Soul Ring, right? So just doing the first 3 draw steps, I drew into 4 mana, right? So we can kind of play this out a little bit. Those are the cards that I draw. We would do the Temple of Deceit, enters tapped, untap it, do the Cascade Bluffs, tap both of them for an Arcane Signet, right? And the Felwar Stone comes to our hand, and then we untap, we draw the Mountain, right? So we'll lay that Mountain. And then we'll do the 1, 2, 3 for the Chromatic Lantern, and then we could do 2 for the Felwar Stone. You see what I mean? Like I'm trying to do something, right? And now when I untap, I draw that Soul Ring. Okay, so let's just do, we'll say 1 for the Soul Ring. That nets me 2. We can do 2, 3, 4, red and a red, because with Chromatic Lantern I could cast by Ancient Copper Dragon. So I'm 3 turns in, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana turn 3, and I have an Ancient Copper Dragon. You know what I mean? So turn 3, turn 4, you really want to be able to do something, right? You want to be able to, you're mana fixing if you need to. You want to be able to cast creatures, your commander. You want to be able to do something. And that's kind of what I look for when I'm goldfishing, right? And I'll even just lay those cards there. Draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't have to shuffle it into your deck. This one, I got a Demonic Tutor, Grim Tutor, Negate, and 2 lands, okay? Well, let's just say I happen to keep it because I got a Tutor, or 2 tutors and a counter spell. So let's just say I keep this. What's the next card I draw? Ooh, it's a Rakdos Carninium that taps for 2 lands. Draw my 3rd tutor. Draw another counter spell. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just kind of, one, am I gonna get mana locked, right? And I'll do this through the entire deck. I'll draw 7 cards. I'll count out 7 cards. Look at the top 2 or 3, maybe 4. See what my mana situation is going to look like, right? It's nice to have all these cards, right? It's nice to have your demonic tutor, your grim tutor, your negate, stuff like that. Like it's really nice to have those cards. But if you don't have the mana to cast those cards, then what good are they, right? So when I'm goldfishing, I'm generally just looking for mana. 4, 5, 6, 7. Next 7, you got a removal spell. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I got 3 lands in here. One's a tap land. It enters the battlefield tapped, but it taps for a blue or a red. I have and then I have 2 swamps, right? I do have a removal spell. I have Felden of the Third Path, which creates copies of cards in my graveyard. I have Hellkite Tyrant, which steals artifacts from other people, and then Sneak Attack, a way to put stuff on the battlefield for free. So we'll draw Solemn Simulacrum. 1, 2, 3. I don't have the mana to cast it, so that doesn't really do me any good. We'll draw the next one. It's a Zar Renegade Recruiter. Can't really do anything with that. Oop. Turn 4, I would have gotten my 4th land. In which case, I could, I could do the Solemn Simulacrum. I could do the Feldon of the Third Path at that point. I can do my removal spell if I need to. I could cast this Sneak Attack if I need to. Feldon, when it enters the battlefield, you search for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So that wouldn't be that bad. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ways to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm looking for the mana to be able to do stuff, but also things to do with it, right? So this hand, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 lands. Okay, so this is a good hand because I have the Ancient Silver Dragon. I have a way to steal creatures for a turn. We'll draw. That's a Cedrus, the Trader King, which gives creatures in my graveyard unearth. And then I draw a dual land, and then another land. We'll go one more, Darksteel Forge. Right, so this hand isn't terrible, but it's not great because there's not a whole lot that I can do, even with drawing those cards. And that's generally what I'm doing when I'm gold fishing. Is I'm just looking for I'll look at the top 3, 4 cards, 5 cards, maybe at most, to see, 1, am I drawing lands? Am I getting the mana that I need? 2, am I getting things that I can play that are gonna do something? Right? Again, I'm not looking for it to win the game like that. I'm not looking for anything specific, turn 3, turn 4. I'm just looking for something. I want to be able to play some type of card. Some type of creature, preferably. Artifacts that do stuff would be nice as well if you're playing a tribal deck, right? Turn 2, turn 3, a Vanquisher's Banner or something like that. Something like an artifact that's going to build your board state up. That's what you're looking for. Okay? I don't like to play the turns out because you never know what's actually going to happen. So when I'm gold fishing, again, I'm just looking for lands and mana of some sort, or something to play, right? You always want something on your battlefield things to be able to block, ways to create or to cast your commander, something. Most commander decks are built around their commander, so whatever their commander does, that's what is the goal of the deck is. But yeah, that's my take on goldfishing. I know it's not anything that you guys need to listen to. It's just my personal opinion. You do whatever you want to do. I have plenty of people in my play group who goldfish on a regular basis. We've had this conversation many times at length. And, it's just one of those things where my opinion differs from theirs, and that's okay. I don't look at them any differently, and they don't look at me any differently, other than they think I'm a jabroni for not goldfishing my decks, because when I'm playing them, I'm sitting there with 3 mana on turn 8, and I'm like, well, crap. Maybe I should have goldfished it a little bit more. But yeah, that's it. I am going to post another video going over some of the rules or the rule changes that have been going on in the past couple months, and kind of give my input on them. Take it with a grain of salt if you want. It's not going to affect me either way. That's just kind of my opinion on that stuff as well. I will post a link for a Discord that I have. If you would like to join it and chat more about this or the rule changes or whatever, I would love to hear from you guys. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Magic the Gathering content. Thanks.